Welcome, ladies, to Radio Salado, visiting the Salado Cultural Arts District art show. We're celebrating 250 years of artistic freedom here in Salado, Texas, at the beautiful, historic Stagecoach Inn, with none other than Jill Shipman and Kay Griffith, who have been cultivating this beautiful art show here in Salado along these gorgeous creek banks. Ladies, tell us, it's happening now July 3rd, correct?
Yes, the reception, the high-end reception, is going to be so exciting and so wonderful. Friday evening from 5 to 9, and it's just for those that have a ticket or have been personally invited, because we'll be serving wonderful wines and hors d'oeuvres, and you'll get to meet the artist as well as we'll have live music. And so it's an opportunity to get to see the art along with the artist that painted it.
It seems like such a unique event amidst all of these, celebrations that are happening outdoors. You're offering a beautiful respite indoors in this beautiful Grace Jones Ballroom here at Stagecoach. And so, Kay, tell us how this project came to be, if you wouldn't mind, in partnership with Stagecoach and the Salado Cultural Arts District.
Well, David Hayes with the Stagecoach Inn and the people of SCAD, which is the Salado Cultural Arts District Board, got together and they were brainstorming and decided that it would be a wonderful thing to have an art show in conjunction with the 250th anniversary of our country, to also celebrate Salado. So that was the birth of this, and along the way it kind of developed.
Well, it seems like it's developed quite beautifully. We're getting just a bit of a behind-the-scenes look here at these amazing artists. How many artists are in this exhibition, in this evening of
I
art?
believe we have 19 artists.
19. And
let me give you a little bit more about why it's important in Salado to have this kind of event for at this particular moment in time in history, is that Salado has always been a place of respite. It's always been a place where anyone who needed water came through here, all the way back as far as we have any history. So it's always been there. And so if you combine that with the banks of Salado and the history of Salado and its very special history with the Stagecoach Inn and so forth, and then you add to that it's been a magnet for creativity, for storytelling, for novelists, for songwriters, any creative thing. And people along the way, even when they stopped from the stage stop, would go and sit by the creek and listen to the babbling water and play the guitar and tell stories and sing and etc. So it has this long, long history. So a freedom of expression and freedom of artistic. So this show highlights the diversity of the art available here, both very high-end art as well as the beginners who are inspired into art careers. So it really runs the gamut in terms of style and promoting the freedom. And one other thing with that, about this art show, is that we in this country are very fortunate as artists to be able to have the freedom to paint or to write songs or novels in whatever manner we choose. I show internationally, and I have spent time visiting with artists in a lot of other countries who have tremendous restrictions on what they can say or what they can paint, what they can do. So this truly, truly is a time to celebrate not only the birth of our country, but the time to celebrate 250 years as artists of having all this artistic freedom. We are really, really blessed. Yeah. And so this show exemplifies that diversity of expression in the art world.
And that's really the reason we named it that, is that 250 years of artistic freedom, because we are so free in this country.
And so blessed.
Not just to speak what we want to say, but to paint what we want to paint, and to sing or write songs, just like she said, whatever we want to do. We just have that wonderful freedom. And it's exciting to be able to have this show on our 250th year celebration for the 4th. And so we're doubly excited about that fact that we're getting to do it at that time.
And it really merges the history of Salado, the history of the Stagecoach Inn as a stage stop, and the future of Salado with all the diversity of art and the transitioning with the abstracts coming in and all the diversity. You'll see a wide range of art in this exhibition.
We have a wonderful brochure. It's actually almost a little booklet because it lists every artist with their bio and their piece of art that was submitted. And so this is a wonderful piece that the people Friday night will get to take home with them, along with a lot of great memories.
Sure, such an educational collector's souvenir.
Yes, it is.
To take along with them. I mean, it feels like, I walked in this afternoon as we were preparing to share this beautiful news about this event with the folks of Central Texas and beyond, and I was just taken aback by the diversity of the art here as well. I mean, you have Western art, you have sculptures, you have you have abstract art, you have the beautiful bronze sculpture here behind you and this abstract painting here, which complement each other so well. Many times when I have visited art galas or art exhibitions, many times they'll group the artists together. This one feels a little bit more free-flowing. Can you share with us about the sort of the idea and concept behind that?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, you can answer that because we had a third person that helped us, and we just tried to create a feel for this art show. We wanted to have space for the art. We wanted for it to flow, and we did hang some of the artists together, but not always. Sometimes we would take one of their pieces that just looked better someplace else. And just for instance, this sculpture behind us, my husband's steel longhorn, it just cried out for these two paintings. And so a lot of her other work is in the other room. But it just what felt right and made it look exceptional. That's
and we'll
what
get
we
a
were
close-up
after.
of that piece here in a bit.
We wanted it to flow. If you do it with one artist and one artist and one artist, then it's more about the artist and their little space, so to speak. We wanted about the concept, and we wanted it to flow. So the art flows through the room. You can go through it, and so the colors, the way it feels, and so forth will flow as you go through it. And we invite people to stop along the way and enjoy the art. So, obviously the artists become important. The person she's talking about was selected as the top female Western artist in the country in 2024.
And what is this artist?
Her name is Crystal Orlando. Okay, so she's really busy getting ready for the Coors show in Denver, a very, very, very highly coveted show to be in. But she does these Indians because just for fun. And so,
And she took her time to be with us and help us hang, and
she helped
was
us
here.
curate. She spent a day and a half working. So the three of us worked together to do this. And she asked me about the Indians, and I said, go for it. They're beautiful. We'll make it work. So throughout the whole thing, we want you to enjoy. We invite everybody to come, but we want you to enjoy the art and experience the art, and then you can figure out who painted it. When you find one you want to live with, or if you want to learn more and why that artist would be a good investment to purchase, then we'll be happy to help you with that, or you can read about it. The artist will be here. But the most important with this show is for people to experience the art and to enjoy it, and to understand that they can have an emotional experience with it, and it's not just a pretty picture to go above the sofa.
Well, it's such a unique event in that you've been so intentional in your curating of the overall feel and the immersive experience here. But with that, as we touched on at the beginning here, this is a 4th of July tradition of rich history coming together across our country. Of rich history, heritage, fine arts, all coming together now here at this special event. Why is that combination so important, do you think, to Salado's identity? I think we've touched on that a bit, but we're coming to this sort of apex moment in our nation's history, but also for Salado as an arts beacon for so many creatives.
Well, that kind of brings me to the Cultural Arts District. because I feel like we have entered a new era of success. We have a new president, and we have a new vision for what we want to accomplish. And this was one of our big kickoffs, if you will, and something that we hope to do every single year at this time of year. David Hayes has been very influential in helping us to see the bigger picture and to do it not just once, but over and over, and to build on it and to really create an art show that people cannot wait to come to every year. You know, we have lost our art show that was in the hot August, and people miss that so much. And so this will be a great way to maybe not exactly replace that show, because we could never have that many people in this area, but it would be air conditioned and it would be wonderful, and we would be attracting a lot of wonderful artists, not just from Salado, but for surrounding areas. We have a few people that are, in other towns, Georgetown, Waco, things like that, that we could, expand our show to others besides just Salado artists. Although several years ago, we counted the artists, and we had T-shirts made that said over 100 artists in the village of Salado. So we are so fortunate to have so many wonderful artists here. And actually, we have some very famous artists here. We have Larry Prella, we have Kay Griffith that shows internationally. We have
Jill Shipman.
Jill Shipman, well, she's not famous yet. Yeah.
She's working on
She's
it.
famous to me.
And Ronnie Wells and Troy Kelly, people that are recognized throughout the United States and some international. So we are so fortunate to live in a creative area like this.
You know, a phrase that came to me right when I walked in this afternoon, and I was able to get a sneak peek before the two of you were here and really just feel out the space. And, it feels like just a moment to come in and savor the art that's here, savoring the art of Salado. And I really appreciate that, especially, amidst this 250th anniversary, but also amidst the Texas hot summer. I have to say, it just, my whole sort of spirit and being felt more calm and at ease. And because of the intentional effort that you've curated here, such a beautiful building and now such a beautiful event, I really do think you've created a one-of-a-kind of event that will just continue to build year after year. So congratulations on such a beautiful and intentional effort on both of your parts. And I know all of the artists that have come together alongside you. Kay, I think you were going to say something else.
I was going to add one more thing, is that I think that everyone needs to consider that this is like we celebrate the 250 years, but it's also the kickoff of Salado's future. And it's like the beginning of a new chapter.
New era.
A new era for Salado.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that too. I felt that energy. I felt that energy with our efforts for the creek. And on that note, Save Salado Creek has been an effort underway at least since February, if not since the beginning of time, and for the foreseeable future. Could you speak a little bit to some of the pieces that are here or that maybe have ties to the creek? For example, Troy Kelly, he is our famed sculptor who created Serena, our magical, mystical mermaid heroine for Salado Creek. He will be on exhibit here with some of his works and perhaps any others that are tied to the creek directly, since we're on these gorgeous creek banks.
Well, if you'll notice, if you go around and highlight some of the pieces, he has the beautiful acrylic fish right in here that he brought, which ties back to his love of the creek and, what he's created by, doing the mermaid. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our lovely
and the catfish.
Yeah. Our cantankerous catfish. And what would you have to say about that, Kay, in terms of just the relation to the creek here? Because that was another thing I felt, as I walked into this space today.
I think that it's a lot more than just looking at the water. I think it's the overall immersive experience of spending time sitting at the creek, listening to it babble. I mean, you're talking spring-fed, pure, crystal clear, water that is so refreshing particularly in the summer. But sitting under the trees and listening to that, and the deer walking by, and the hawks flying overhead, the clouds floating by. I don't think anybody who does that cannot feel not only a sense of calm, but an inspiration of some kind. whether or not that's to write or to paint or to write music or to sing, whatever it is. I think that the creek is a lot more than a creek. I think that it symbolizes and sparks a lot of creativity.
It's like a magnet that just draws people.
Yes.
To me, that's one of the reasons when we retired and left Dallas, I wanted a place that had beautiful water. And so every time I came to Salado, I just felt this creative spirit and also the beautiful creek. And so that's the reason that we moved here, was because of that creative spirit, because this is a place where there are no limits to your creation. Whatever you want to create, is you can look around. We have every different kind of art. And that's another thing I wanted to say about the Cultural Arts District. We're not just about paintings. We're about music, any kind of different art, drama. We are kind of an umbrella, if you will, for all of the arts. And so we want to encourage all of the arts. And that's one reason we have sculptures, we have paintings, we have live music for Friday night. And so we've covered a few of those areas. We don't have any storytelling, but Kay is really good at that. And so she's going to get to speak as well as I am.
Yay.
We will both be speaking Friday
Lovely.
night, short time, to tell the stories of who we are and why we wanted to do this and how this came about. And so the people that attend on Friday evening will get to hear at least a few of those stories.
Well, it sounds like a dream come true on so many levels. And, if Texas is nothing else, it's a tale of resilience. And I can feel that in this event as well. Could you tell us a little bit more about the live music happening on Friday night?
Well, it's a guitarist, and I am sorry Glenn got him, and I don't know his name.
I'm sure he'll be lovely. Tell us more
apologize
about
for that.
Glenn, if you would. Could you tell us a little bit more about Glenn?
Glenn is our newly elected president this past year, and that's why I said we feel like we're in a new era of success, because he is really great at promotion, advertising, fundraising, and so he has really helped us move forward. And this is our 10th year, our celebration of the Cultural Arts District. And so we have some great ideas for the coming years, hoping to have a place that we can have not just art classes, but drama, and maybe even have artists come in and spend the night and do classes there. So this is one of our long-time goals, and I believe Glenn will help us to reach those goals, because he's really a go-getter.
And he has 40 years experience of high-end marketing.
Yeah, it seems like folks are becoming much more aware of the Salado Cultural Arts District all of a sudden in the last year or so.
Yes.
And I'm sure much of his work and all of your efforts can be attributed to that. I wanted to ask you a couple more questions, and then we can go take a look at some of the pieces here, if that's all right with you all. For someone visiting Salado for the very first time, and maybe they've heard a couple of things or read many things perhaps regarding sort of the art history here in Salado and its evolution. What do you hope they remember after perhaps coming to this event, if this was their first time coming?
I would hope that whoever comes to it, whether it's Friday night or Saturday or even Sunday afternoon, that they would leave the show with a love of art, that they are in a great appreciation of all the artists that have such a vision. That's what I love about looking at other people's art, is that they are so creative in so many different ways, and ways that I never even thought about myself, even though I've painted for many years. Just that feeling of creating something from nothing. You just take a blank canvas and some paints, and you come up with whatever your vision is, something that's in your heart that you want people to understand and know. I love to paint skies, and so I live on a hill, and I see these beautiful sunsets, and I just want other people to have that same joy that I get in looking at all those beautiful, that God has just given us a picture every single night of whether it's a stormy night or a sunny night or whatever, sunset, whatever it is. I want to capture that on canvas so that the people that view that can feel that same joy and happiness that I feel when I look at that.
I could not agree more. I'm a big Texas sunset fan, and you do capture it like nobody else, I gotta say. You know, as far as my personal walk with art and my love affair with art, all kinds of art, array of art, every kind of art form, you know, the phrase that comes back to me often is courageous creativity. And I really do feel from the bottom of my heart that to share with the public your heart on a canvas takes great acts of courage. I read a phrase recently, and I've said it on the show before, and I'm probably going to say it again because it's really sticking with me, and I do believe it embodies what's happening here at this gorgeous event. There was a young girl, and she said that, you know, when she was even younger, she felt as though she had to choose between being brave or being beautiful. And then she put on her first pair of cowgirl boots, and she realized she didn't have to choose any longer.
Well, I'm so sorry you're not going to get to be here Friday night because Kay and I will both have on boots.
Oh,
Friday night.
yay! Take pictures for me. I'm here in spirit, I guarantee you. I'll be with kiddos 4th of July, but I love what you all have created here, and I want to take a moment and share with the folks at home everything that we've got going on here as much as we can through our Radio Salado.